that's not what I want. Let's, oh, hey, I am live now. Cool. There I am. Well, there's my stream anyways. One watching, I think that's probably me. Mute that tab. All right. Cool. Is there anyone here, or is it just me? Am I the concurrent watcher? There I am. Let's see what happens. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, playbacks too. Nice. All right. So let's see, what's my plan for office hours? We got that. There we go. Update reading assignments. I think I've done that. I can get rid of that. Cool. There's that. Let's go ahead and share this on the class blog. Cool. All right. Oh, hey, there's two people. Bit rate is low, ultra low latency. Stream status is good, but not excellent. All right, well. Oh, that's not what I want. All right. Cool. So, as long as that's going on, all right. A sec. I will return. Leave this here. Don't let me forget. All right, still just me. So I am pretty sure that if I put on my music, right. Hey, all right. All right. Hey, this is it's getting faster. Still just two. All right. Maybe I'm someone's ASMR buddy. Let's see. So, let me see if I got this audio. Did I mess up my audio? Oh, wait, no, I had myself muted. All right. Okay, cool. So, what that means is that I can listen to Spotify without messing up and getting my video taken down for violating intellectual property rights. Cool. All right. So let's see. Let me show you guys something. Oh, cool. David Robinson's been getting back. So 390 students, something that's good to work through or to work along with is Tidy Tuesday. Now, if you follow this guy, David Robinson, super cool, but he's going to go out at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So it's going to be really tough to follow. So, you play it extra slow. But what's really good, yes, he's all right, second per second is a bit much. Can slow down the playback speed or just stop and start a lot. But what's cool, and this is something to make a habit of this semester, is the Tidy Tuesday. Ooh, chopped, cool. The Tidy Tuesday project is this weekly thing. Every Tuesday they put up a new bit of data, and people just kind of all explore this data together, which is pretty cool. So let's see, chop global crop yields is this week's Tidy Tuesday. Let's do this. I'm just going to mess around with some Tidy Tuesday. All right, recent projects are for DS. This is where I've been doing my Tidy Tuesday stuff over the summer. Let's see, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. All right. And I should keep the stream box handy in case a chat comes in. And let me also do this. Get that right? Cool. Work all right if I tile. Let's get rid of that. Add over there. All right. Cool. So this is an R Markdown document. Let's see, can I? All right, I'm going to see if I can't use the chat to kind of tag some stuff that might be useful. I'm in the wrong spot. So let's see. Describing R Markdown and Tidy Tuesday. All right, so 147. This is 1358. I wonder if that'll show up the right way there. All right, well, in any case, so Tidy Tuesday is this project that some nice people on the internet have made where they just take some data set and share it. And what's really cool is that we've got some functions from the Tidy Tuesday R package that make it really easy to load this stuff in. Now, this document, what I'm working in right now, I've got RStudio open. Let's see, how did I do this? All right. I like to start scripts with this line of code. RM means remove. It's also a command from Unix, and you will find it in your Macs. Also, if you use a Mac and you want to delete a file, the command is RM for remove. So here we've got a function, and basically the way functions work is you got the name of the function, then you got the parentheses, and then you got the arguments. So in this case, it's taking an argument called list, and it's taking as that argument ls, which is its own function. And when you do ls, it's going to give you everything in the workspace. So you think of, say, your desktop. Right now, my desktop, I've got a credit card bill, I got a document from the tax collectors, I got Tommy Wiseau. I've got stuff on my desktop. This line of code, what it does is it clears off the desktop. Right? So I've got nothing in my environment. I've got nothing when I ask for ls. I just get sort of this empty character space. Some of the stuff, it's like learning a language. You get more fluent with experience. So some of the stuff, even to me, it still sounds a little bit weird in the same way that English can sometimes sound a little bit weird. So I've just cleared the space. I'm going to call in some libraries. Now, a library is a set of someone else's code that I want to use. So in this, what's really nice, I think I've got it there. Yeah, this little thing is really great. So if I do this, I can pass ls on to something else. This will make more sense when we start actually doing a lot more coding in the class. Right now, hopefully you've signed up for Data Camp. Let's actually go ahead and get that loaded up. And hopefully you've installed RStudio and R, but you probably haven't really gotten into any actual coding. So don't sweat it if this seems crazy. This is really just still me talking to myself, so I'm not gonna worry too much. All right, so I'm loading in these libraries. That gives me, especially in the tidyverse, some really useful tools for manipulating data. And then the Tidy Tuesday R means that I can use their function ttload to load in today's data. Wait, there we go. Load in that data. We got arable land, pen, cereal crop yield versus fertilizer application. Let's get the results, which is actually the same as this GitHub page, but down in our help, I guess the viewer. Our World in Data is a really cool website. That might be a good source of inspiration for 390 students. All right, so let's say I don't need to load that. It's going to take forever. Crop yields. Oh, this is a cool band. Easy Star All Stars. They've done a few good reggae covers of some classic albums. All right, so load that. This bit of code is not going to help us. All right, here is the data. We load in the data this way. Key crop yields. Let's see what we got in this data. We got arable land, pen, key crop yields. Oh, here we go. All right. Let's start with land use. Actually, I guess might as well get all of it in. So, key crop yields will be choose data. All right, I guess this is fertilizer. All right, so I got the cereal crop. I got cereal yields versus tractor, yield versus fertilizer, yield versus tractor, land use versus yield, and then arable land pen, and then key crop yields. All right, cool. So I run all that bit of code. Now I can see what's on my workspace in our studio. It's demonstrating up here what I've got. I could get that in R by running the ls command. So I got 2's data, and then I pulled this stuff out of 2's data. So you'll see this as we work, but this little $sign is a way to get a chunk out of something else. So we got this thing called 2's data, and it's got 5 elements, and those 5 elements are the ones that we're pulling out here. Cool. So now what we really want to look at is what these things are. So they're all data frames. We got a bunch of observations of a few variables. Entity, code, so these are countries, years, and then arable land needed to produce. There we go. Arable land needed to produce a fixed quantity of crops. So what could you make in 1961 with, say, an acre of land? For Afghanistan, 1962, the productivity went down, then went up, then it went way down even further than that. That is kind of scary. All right, well, let's there we go. Let's keep this handy. So key crop yields, what am I looking at right now? Arable land. Arable land needed. Oh, actually, so a lower number means you're getting more out of less. So I had a flippity-flopped just a second ago. Cool, so that's what it looks like. Still says 2 concurrent viewers, and I'm pretty sure that I'm one of them. All right, whatever, this will be fine. So, now here's a really cool thing with tidyverse. So here's that pipe I was describing a second ago. So we take this, fix that typo. We'll group by entity. And then, actually, I should be doing this down here. Let's see, it's Control-Alt-I to put in a block of code. Arable land to group by entity. And I think Markdown, here we go. Show inline tool. Preview. Chunks in. So what do we get from there? Let's see. I'll look at that some other time. All right. So let's see. I'm going to group by, and then I'm going to go and create a plot. And what I really care about is that arable land variable. Ooh, and that is a real mess of a name. I wonder if I can just say, give me column 4. Actually, I really want years are X variable. Maybe 4. All right. Ah. All right, let me do this. So what I want, let's see, I'm going to do it this way actually. So I will rename, I want let's see, what's the nice way to do this? Let's just try and cut and paste this directly. Work. Oh. There we go. All right. It's not exactly what I want, but it's maybe close. All right. This is 11,000 observations. Shouldn't be so crappy. Sometimes stuff gets bogged down and you got to do this, but that'll be fine. Except that I don't want this. I want the legend here. I never remember how to do this. So ggplot, remove legend. The internet is our friend here. Yada, yada, yada. Guide, scale, theme. There we go. Actually, let's go ahead and, well, whatever. I'll put it down here. All right, so who is this? It's one country that's really messing this up. So let's do this. Let's group by entity. Descending for land needed. Let's see what we get. Qatar in the late 70s. Really crappy. Wow, even 7. 2011, it took Sao Tome 7 acres, 7 times more land to produce a given amount of food than it did in 1961. That's kind of unsettling. But let's try and just filter that out. So land needed, we'll say less than 10. Oh, whoops. And this I don't want. Comment that out. Run that again, try and get this. Here we go. All right. So this is a lot more readable. Those were some bad years. Qatar? What's going on in Qatar in the 70s? Is it pronounced Qatar or Qatar? I'm going to call it Qatar for now. Qatar. Let's check out history, independence, and aftermath. So what would this have been? Civil War, UK, September 71. Stuff terminated. In any case, so we got that over time. Oh, you know what? I might be able to let's try something. That's where I want to be. Let's see. Map data. I'm going to rip off some code for myself. Let's go ahead and put this in our setup chunk of code. Let's see, I don't need that. Don't think I need dend extend, but I think maps I do want. And country code is really useful for dealing with these ISO codes. So in here, let's change entity to code. Change color to code. It's the same information, but what you'll see is when we run this, well, it's going to overwhelm the legend in a second, but it's going to show you like Canada's CAN, China's CHN, US is USA, that 3-digit code. This is like the official one we get using country code, right? Canada, Ecuador, Guyana, Kuwait. Of course, we still can't read it because we got too many countries. But we get the same thing here. Ooh, something messed up there. Well, let's just... we'll stick with entity because it worked. Entity. Okay, there we go. That's what we had. That's what works. Now what we want to do is in map form. So we'll take this, and actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into a new variable. And then run this. I've got it that way. From arable, which is just filtering out that bad year in Qatar, and renaming the variable. Instead of arable land, it's just land needed. This is land needed to produce what you could produce on some amount of land in 1961. All right, so map form. Let's see, I think I set up the map, so let's go ahead and take arable. We'll join that with a right join with, what do we call it, map chords. Let's just see what that looks like. Oh, could actually load that. Just rerun that code. Again, I like having this line at the top of my graph, or at the top of my script, because it just dumps everything out. So this code works when I just hit play, and it's not like I'm changing something, getting it to work, and then coming back and fixing it in the script. It's really easy to like solve something when you're working on R, but not fix it properly in the script. So this just kind of forces me to make sure the script works. We'll talk more about this as the semester goes on. All right, so I got this thing. I'm creating this thing. There's arable. We got map chords. So if I run this, they have nothing in common. You know what I need to do? Is I need to rename ISO 3C equals, what was it? It was code. Code with a capital C. Make sure that works. It's kind of dealing with a lot of data, but looks right. Good. All right, cool. Do that. Do some stuff. That work right? So subregion, region, this seems fine. Oh, 5 million, that's not right. Do this right up here. Yeah, that should be fine. Right join, map chords. All right, so I got about 100,000. Yeah. That's not exactly right, but I'll figure it out in a second. Let's see, so how did I make this map? I'm just gonna steal this bit of code, close that file. Actually, you know what? Whatever. All right, so I take this arable data, which only cut out 4 rows, 4 observations, and then right join to map chords, which is the data that gives us longitude and latitude to plot out. I'm sure there's a nicer way to do this, but this is the way I know I've gotten to work before. Let's get my foot in. All right, right join to map chords. MapDF. 5 million observations. That's way too much. Why is that not working right? So let's look at the console. So we go ahead. That gives me the first few rows. Map chords. And I look at the head of arable. got this ISO 3, this ISO 3C, that should match up properly. Year, entity, land needed. This should be fine. Why is this not working right? Let's see when I merge them. I'm thinking that's going to give me 5 million rows again still. So if you are watching this, here's a bit of warning. There's always more than one way to get to what you're trying to do. All right, so while that loads, let's try and sort out the code that we're going to use. So let's see, I'm not going to worry about a plot title, but I'll say ggplot. We'll take the map df. We'll figure out how to work that. Our aesthetic variables are going to be longitude, latitude, and group equals group plus geom polygon. Okay, temp is run, and it's still 5 million rows. It's not as big as when I did a join. That's weird. It's still wrong, but it's wrong in a different way. All right, as fill equals. We don't want it as a factor. We want it to be land needed. Oh, and you know, I know what's going on. I need to filter this down to a particular year. So say year equals, let's call it a, let's see what we've got at the bottom here. 2014. Cool. That should work better. Oh, yep. Cool. Notice that little error I got there? I said year equals 2014, but I wanted a double equals because I'm doing a comparison. All right. So we got our map df is a reasonable amount of observations. Still should be no bigger than map chords, but whatever. We'll see what it looks like. We got fill, yes, fill, right, color equals alpha white 1/2. So alpha is sort of transparency. When we say color in ggplot, we're usually talking about sort of the outline, and then fill is what's actually in there. I'll fiddle around with that, and you can see what I mean. And then size 0.2, I'm going to call that just 1/5, just to be consistent. Fractions, I like fractions. Fractions got a bad rap. And then what do we want? We want theme, legend.position. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to copy all of this. We don't need that scale color. This, all I don't need. Oh, come on. Theme. Text X equals element blank. Theme plus theme. You know what? No. It's easy to miss parentheses. That should be fine. That should be fine. Unexpected comma. Axis.text.x is element blank. Plot title not found. Oh! Let's just make that empty for now. Let's skip that whole thing. There we go. All right, so this doesn't look right, but closer. MapDF. Let's see what this looks like. Year 2014, that's correct. Our fill is land needed. MapDF, what do you look like? We got entities, ISOs, years, land needed. Huh. Let me show you some stuff that should work a little bit easier. So I changed that white to a red. That's going to change the outlines. And if I were to make this, let's say 1/20, it should be more faded, a little bit more see-through. So we could zoom in on that. There's a tiny bit less faded. All right, stick with white, stick with 1/2 alpha. 2014, let's try 2010. So notice it's giving us this stuff that we don't really care about. If we do like this. I think maybe it's too close to 1. DF group, that seems fine. Our fill is land needed. Let's do this. All right, so now I'm going to leave that where it was. But I will take arable and I'll filter to look at year. It's 2014. And I'll do ggplot. Yes, with just land needed and geom histogram. There we go. All right, so here's a histogram of that data. Arable. I have an attached continent to that. That's fine. So some countries way off there to the right doesn't look too good. Let's try this. Let's try so there I said the fill is land needed is greater than 1. So this is telling me, compare that to here. Can I put on, I should be able to put on a vertical line. Let's see, what would this be? Geom, V-line. And what do I want? I want x-intercept equals 1. There we go. Okay. So what this is saying is here are all the countries, most of the countries in 2014 needed less land to produce what a given unit could produce in 1961. Most countries are more productive than they were 70 years ago. A few require a whole lot more land. That includes Cuba. We got a little bit of coastal Africa. My geography's not great. What is this? Norway. Norway takes more land. It's a little bit of a surprise. Weird. Switzerland takes more land than before. So it's not all just terrible things happened. Qatar would show up there, but we filtered them out. So let's do it this way again. So the color is reflecting, this isn't, I mean, maybe Norway's a little bit lighter, maybe Cuba's a little bit lighter, but it's really hard to tell. This is not a great palette for this. Doesn't really show very much. So where did we have this before? This was by group or by country. So what we're seeing is we're starting here. Actually, let's go ahead and add in geom H line, a horizontal line with a y-intercept equals 1. So when countries are below this line, they're getting more out of less. So we have fewer countries that are actually taking more land than it took in 1961. All right. Cool. All right. This map is less exciting than I'd thought, but whatever, I got something. I'll take it. 15 minutes left of office hours, still doing good. All right. That's key crop yields, arable land. Fertilizers and tractors. We haven't even started looking at that. Maybe we'll pick this up again in class tomorrow. All right. Still streaming, right? Do it here. Make sure I didn't miss any. Nothing in the chat. Okay, hey, look at this. I can get the delay into the video itself. Sound working? I think it's fine. All right, well, let's fiddle around with this stuff a little bit more. Control-Alt-I. Mute myself so I don't confuse myself. All right. I'm losing a little bit of brain power. Is there anyone here that isn't me? Well, I've dropped a comment on the class blog saying, hey, you might be interested in this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close our studio. We're looking at R Markdown, the definitive guide. Oh, that was a Donald Knuth thing? So this is something that I want to try and work on this semester personally. So when you're coding, essentially what you're doing is, well, let's even just look here, right? So if we look at, this is a really simple script. Here we go, here's a script. So we call in some library, we load in some data that is in some file, and then you do some stuff to that, and then you return out something else. This is a relatively mild thing, but when you're doing scripting, so R is an interpreted language. We've got the console where we can work directly with R. And then we've got this script where we basically have our work set up in such a way that we should be able to say, just run this script and it does everything it needs to do. So if you think about, say, turning on your computer, there's a bunch of things that need to happen. You need to enable the operating system to display stuff to a monitor. You got to connect to devices. You got to hook up to the Wi-Fi. You got to turn on particular programs. You've got a whole list of things that you want to do, and you really want the computer to be doing those things instead of you manually opening everything up and enabling every particular thing. So the script in R, that's doing stuff that you want to be, that you've already sorted out, basically. the console is sort of a good place to interact and experiment, but as you experiment, you want to move that stuff into your script. So the person dealing with this bit of code has given us a script, but in the process of writing that script, they were probably doing stuff like loading in this comma-separated value file, trying pivot longer, trying a different function, trying other things, renaming things, and in the process, eventually solving the problem. But if you solve the problem in the console, but you didn't solve it in your script, now when you want to work with that data again, you got to go through all those steps manually again. Right? So you want the script to have it there for you, so you can just say, do all these things, and then I'm going to start interacting with my code again, right? Especially when you're working on an ongoing project. If you're just doing something simple, a one-off, you're using R as a calculator, the console's totally fine. But if you're doing something where you're working with some agricultural data and you're trying to figure something out, you're trying to make some project out of this, you really need to have organized scripts holding on to all of your progress, keeping everything working well for you. All right, we'll talk more about that in class. Let's see, tractors. I'll play around with more of this tomorrow. I'm going to do this for now. I'm just going to stretch out my back. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with my back lately, but whatever. I'm just going to go fiddle through some data camp stuff for the next 7 minutes while I write out the end of office hours. Here we go. See, you'll see this as you go through. How much of this have I done? Not very much. Functions are a way to gather some code together. Scripts are a way to gather some code together. And fundamentally, we're just building stuff out of code. A function is a way to use a bit of code over and over again. A script is a way to basically organize code that works so that you could run it all at once rather than line by line. Turn into a function. Several steps to convert a script into a function. I don't know what they wanted out of the video, but let's see if this works. Oh. For generalizing. Oh, come on. There we go. Ooh. What am I doing here? Hey, Lola. What are you doing, little puppy dog? Come here. Oh. You little puppy dog. Oh, you're such a good puppy. Says, hey, Lola. You want to say hi to the internet? Oh, you're such a good puppy. You should love my little friend. Such a good girl. Oh, puppy, your breath smells like dog food. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop office hours. Take Lola for her WALK.